Bringing up money can be a bit of a taboo subject amongst the art community. The starving musician who values their music above all else is often romanticized over the corporate sellout. I personally come from a different school of thought. I believe that the greatest privilege someone like me can have is the ability to generate a respectable income doing something I'm deeply passionate about. And I know many are curious how one can go about doing that through YouTube. Today, I'm going to tell you the specifics of how I found financial stability through this platform. Hopefully that will satisfy the curiosity, and to some of you, maybe this video can help you figure out how you too can monetize your passion. To start things off, I want to make a very important note. I'm extremely grateful that people like you have allowed me to have this career. I don't want you to think that I see my fan base merely as a means to a dollar. There's so much more to it than that, but based on the nature of today's video, that's what I'll end up discussing. Which brings me to an overarching concept of monetizing your music. A fan base has value, and the first goal should be to build that. When you do decide to monetize, you need to respect that relationship at all costs. For my first year and a half of YouTubing, I made next to no money through my channel. The main focus was getting that first surge of people interested in my content. It wasn't until summer of 2016 that I was making enough to consider this a real job. That would have been around 30,000 subscribers or so. So let's break down some of the revenue streams. If you're thinking about trying to make YouTube your job, diversifying your income is crucial. There's limited stability, and relying on one single thing can get you into trouble. The first thing that many of you know about is YouTube Adsense. Assuming you aren't using an ad blocker, you'll see advertisements shown before my videos, off to the side, or sometimes down there as a banner. These advertisers pay YouTube, who further pay creators like me a portion of that revenue. I believe the split is 55% for the creator and 45% for Google. If I cover a song, then I further split my portion with the publisher. The amount you see from this takes a couple things into effect. For example, if your video is longer, more advertisements can be shown. And obviously, if more people watch your video, that has more value too. I could never live off this money alone. There simply isn't enough traffic on my page. It's also dangerous to put all your eggs in one basket. YouTube can be unpredictable, and you never know what they're going to deem non-advertiser friendly. If you're familiar with the infamous adpocalypse, I'm sure you've heard about this. The next more common stream of revenue is through crowd support. I personally use Patreon. This gives fans a direct line to supporting my channel. Pledges range from $1 a month to a few who have blown my mind with their generosity, pledging $100 a month. In return, I offer rewards like early access to my videos, tabs, even private sensei sessions. This is amazing because it gives me a bit of stability. If YouTube decides I'm not advertiser friendly, I can still pay a chunk of my bills every month. It all ties back into building an audience. If no one cares what I do, no one would get involved in crowdfunding. My last major source of income is sponsored content, which I'm sure you've seen pop up now and then. Male guitarists age 18 to 34 from English-speaking countries make up the bulk of my audience. There are many brands that want to sell to this demographic. I have a direct line to you, and brands will pay me to essentially be a salesman for their product. Now, I believe this is something you need to be very careful with. Anything I sponsor needs to be something that I like and can get behind. And I have had a number of brands reach out who I've declined to work with because I don't believe in their product or I don't see a fit with my brand. You'll know I've sold out if you start seeing me pushing Christian Mingle. I know that I personally don't like having something sold to me unless it's a product that I can actually see value in. So that's what I try to keep in mind. Now let's look at some of the little revenue streams. I'll always use the description of my videos to put up Amazon affiliate links to the products I talk about, be it guitar pedals, books, whatever. Every time someone buys something using that link, I'll see a small commission. The checks I get from Amazon are minuscule, but it's a small stream that flows into the bigger river. I'll also sell MP3s through Bandcamp. I used to use a service that sent them to iTunes, Spotify, and various other streaming services, but they started charging a fee and it became non-profitable. Again, this doesn't amount to much, but it all adds up. Historically, lessons have made a big chunk of my earnings. When you have people that specifically seek you out for a guitar lesson, you can charge more than if you're working at your local music school. My first teaching gig before I ever made videos paid me $14 an hour to teach little kids Ode to Joy. The demand for my services has gone up because of YouTube, which enables me to now charge more. I was doing a lot of Skype lessons before, but recently I've cut back. I find I enjoy teaching more if I do it selectively, though at one point it did make up a large chunk of my income. Another thing I used to do but have since moved on from is session stuff on the website Fiverr. This is basically a marketplace where people can buy and sell digital services. I would record guitar parts for all kinds of songs and all kinds of artists. The idea is that every service is $5, but you can structure it so that you make significantly more. I would use my YouTube page as my resume on there. If someone wanted to know what I could do, I directed them over here. I'm glad I don't do it anymore. It was a little bit soul-sucking. I often dealt with people who had very specific ideas of what they wanted, but an inability to express that vision, which can of course become frustrating and time-consuming. That's not to say I didn't have some really positive experiences is there, it can be a great side hustle for a musician. All these things combined have gotten me to a place where I'm by no means getting rich, but I'm comfortable. I'm not going to tell you exactly how much I make for a number of reasons. First, it's consistently in flux. I can have a couple lucrative sponsorships one month and then nothing come in for a while. As my channel has grown, my income has changed fairly drastically too. In a year, I'll probably be in a totally different place, hopefully for the better, but you never know, it could all fall off the cliff. I haven't been doing this long enough to get an idea of how this will average out in the long run. I will say that if I were to quit YouTube today, given my skill set, I wouldn't be able to find another job that pays the same salary. So what does the future hold? There are a couple ways of monetizing that I still have yet to pursue. I've got some merch ideas I'm really excited about. I want my merch line to stand out even if you have no idea who I am. Of course, this takes time to conceptualize and manufacture, but I do think there's a lot of designs that could combine the concept of a samurai and a guitarist quite well. I also deeply crave some sort of live aspect to what I do. I grew up dreaming of playing shows and started my professional career on the stage. I see this coming to fruition in the form of a clinic. I'd come to a guitar store or venue near you, jam out, talk about music, do a Q&A, that sort of thing. Hopefully that gets rolling this year, and hopefully I'll see you there. The worst case scenario for my career is that this all goes belly up. YouTube implodes or all you guys decide you hate me. In which case, I think I could leverage the success I've had into some sort of job in the music industry or social media. I could also see myself running a class on the music business in the digital age at my old university. That would be pretty cool too. Absolute best case scenario is that this thing keeps on growing. The opportunities keep coming in and my outreach keeps expanding. Next thing you know, I'm busting guitar solos on Shania Twain's next album. Dare to dream. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video and in some way found this informative. If you want to make a career in music, part of you needs to think about the business. Nothing will fall in your lap. You need to desire something and work for it if you have any chance at achieving it. At the same time, it's imperative that you respect the fan base you grow and the responsibility that comes with it. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much for making this a possibility for me. It's truly been my life's pleasure making videos for you, and I hope to be at it for a long time to come. I'm Samurai Guitarist, and I will see you again soon.